Hello. Hello. Sorry, I was updating myself a bit on the war in Ukraine, and yeah, last night there's been a massive attack with hundreds of missiles and UAV, which is like unprecedented compared to the previous attacks, and yeah. So I was checking a bit if there was more information on the damages. It seems that the damages are there, but they are, you know, relatively limited compared to the insane amount of missiles that have been sent. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah, this war remains a major tragedy. Major tragedy. If only these fucking Russians could go back home and not bother with other people and other countries' borders and living, would be very nice. Anyway. Hello everyone. Good evening. So what I'm doing, so I don't know if you were here this morning, but I was streaming in the morning because I couldn't stream in the afternoon. This morning I did a bit of reasoning on how we want to associate the profiles to the different lakes and rivers, and at the end I decided that I don't want to replicate for every line, right? For every lake, I don't want to list all the fishes again if they are in common or similar to, well, identical to another lake, another location. So the idea is to create what I call here a profile, which actually is a kind of a group, right? There's a kind of group that is involving multiple, that is including multiple fishes, right? And let me just start everything. I think I didn't do all I had to do, including just a second, I need to check if it's open. Yes, I'm just organizing something for tomorrow. Organizing something for tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. So what I was saying, I'm back with you. So what I was saying, that we want to have a profile, you know, based on the amount of fishes that we have in a certain type of fishes that we have in a certain lake that we can reuse. So from the database point of view, what I created a new table, which is called natural resource items, right? Which has these columns. And basically there is a group ID into that table. In this case is group number 1, which is then referenced into our natural resources, right? So I added here an additional column in natural resource table, which is called item group, that is referencing the other table, right? So this is basically what, and now what I was doing, I was just ensuring that this information is properly loaded into the in memory when the server starts up, and so that we are loading the natural resources, and we are loading natural, and we are loading also before that the groups, right? These profiles, let's call it, these item groups, right? Right, so what I was reasoning on is, do I need to put this in a kind of a T map? But no, because it will have to be a multi-map because I have multiple lines. So I would say no. I think what we will do simply, we will just extract. So what I want to do, I want to associate, yeah, exactly, the item group to the natural resource. So we read this value, and based on this value, we will do a search. Now, how do I want to do this search? I think we will create a function, because yeah, I think so. Do we already have a function to search inside resources or not in work manager? Let me see. There is a resource push. There is the find. Yeah, it's something similar to this, right? So we need something like find resource by group. Find resource by group ID or by item group. Yeah, exactly. So we should do a get resource by item group, right? And this will return what? I think we return the whole group. So actually we return an array of natural resources, pointers, right? I think so. And this one, then we can, and this one we can then implement it. And the only, and so what we need to do, we need to do, we need to do a for and I think I prefer, I mean, these days I kind of prefer to do it this way, actually, if I can. Natural resource res, let's call it, right? Resource items. Fuck, why I always forget the... Why I always forget this syntax, boys? Because it's similar to the one in PHP, but I just forget it all the time. When you want to do a for just with the... like a for each, right? With this, okay. And does it like the natural resource res? Probably not, because why? Because sorry, sometimes I'm just because I don't use that syntax too much, but I think it's clean, and I would like to use it actually. Oh, I don't find it anymore. I like this one, right? Yeah, it's exactly like this. The only point is that you need to be sure that this is the same, right? Yeah, exactly. Resource item is what? Because it's natural resource items, that's why. No, so it's correct, but yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, just the column. So, by the way, hello everyone, and thank you for joining. Hello, Fannar. You just won 2,000 points. Gambling big, huh? I see. Natural resource. So for each one, what do we want to do? Well, we just want to see if the group ID, right? If the group ID is equal to the in-group ID, and if that's the case, right? So I think I need to create an empty array, right? So this will be our result. This will be our result, right? And I will just do. I will just add the new, the rest that we found, right? Rest is a kind of a bad name, but anyway. Yeah, so they fucked up everything here. So it's natural resource items, by the way. So returns the item, the natural resource items part of the given group ID, right? So actually here we need to have a group ID, right? So otherwise it's not gonna work. Yeah, exactly. Okay, I think we're nearly there. So if this is the same, right? Why doesn't like it? Don't understand. I don't know why he has a red line. Because we are not returning anything. Okay, yes. You are right. I need to return that. So it is doing nothing else than just returning all the rows that are part of this group ID, right? All the lines that are part of the group ID. So now yeah, we have one problem though. The problem is the problem is that the item group itself, right, does not have an ID or whatever. Hey no, my friend. And no, my friend, this needs to be a TRA off. Exactly. It needs to be a TRA. Oh my god, I have to move all of this. GG, bro. Can I do it with Alt Shift and fuck. No, it doesn't work. Why is not taking this part? Anyway. Okay, it's fine. So item group. Oh shit. Rain. What? Yeah, sorry. Like this. Okay. Okay, so here we are searching into all the item groups that we have, the elements that are referred to that item group, and then we are loading into our resource. So now basically at runtime, our resource will have, right, our resource, when we find it, we'll have all the fishes with all the characteristics that we defined. So that's fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. So it will have all of this, right? One for each fish definition. So in our case, right, you will have these two lines, right? You will have these two lines. And this will happen only if the group ID is specified in natural resources, right? So we can, I think we can test the loading. I mean, to see if the loading is actually working or not. Just wait a second. Just a second. Just a second. Just a second. Okay. It's compiling. I figure I have nothing to lose, yeah. Good thing I keep myself in check. So you are not exaggerating in the gambling, huh? Let me try one slot. Fuck, I lost it. Pity. Okay, it actually compiled, so I think we can launch it and see what happens. What is this red, this small red symbol? I don't know. Okay, let's launch it. Hello, Citizen DJ. Hello, hello. How are you? We are working on fishes. We are working on a fishing minigame to add to our game, to our main game, and I'm testing right now a new part that we just developed. That is basically allowing me to associate to a certain lake, like this one, right? A profile of the resources that it contains, right? So with probability and other information. So we added a new table to our database to hold this information, right? And we are testing now with the example items, right? Example lines, if that is actually loaded properly or not. And I'm waiting this freaking thing to... Okay, it's going. Okay, so I did this first part of initialization. So let's see if inside resource item I have my 2 lines. It looks the answer is yes, which is nice. So we have a carp fish, right? And we have a lionfish. Okay. At the moment, these names are probably gonna change, but that's fine. So this part went okay. Now we need to see this part. And in particular, I want to see when we reach this point, right? Well, we have a lot of lines, so I think I need to add a kind of a conditional breakpoint, right? Because we want to do it only when the item group equals to 1. But before doing that, let me do one run and see when we have -1 what happens, right? Because now we have this will be -1. Yeah. So I want to see what happens here. In theory, should return null, right? And so the item group will be an empty array. Okay, good. Okay, so this works as expected. Fantastic. Now we want to have item group ID equal to 1, right? So in the conditional breakpoint. Okay, seems that it worked. So this one is our resource 77, which at the moment actually correspond to this lake. No, it's the other lake. But anyway, one of the lakes that we have in the game. Right, so I want to see if now I get in the item group the 2 resources. Yes, we do. Okay, very nice. Okay, so yeah, this part of the code seems to work fine. I mean, we can test it a bit more, but it seems to be good. Okay. So if this works, basically we did this part. Loading of the new table data. Yes. So now our lake, right, points to a table in memory, right, that lists all the fishes that are present in that lake. And we can reuse this profile, right, for multiple lakes. So now what I could do, right, I could say, it's not only this lake, right, it's not only the 77 that has group ID number 1, but is another one, right? I can select any other line and put group number 1. They will all have the same fishes in it, which is very nice. Okay, now the next step is to actually, I don't know if we have to start the mini game already, or if I have first to do the randomization. Yeah, let's do first the randomization. So let's do first this part, right? And by the way, let me think about it 1 second. Do we want, because what I'm thinking is, should we do the randomization already with the cutoff of the skill like we discussed yesterday? So that if you have a certain skill, maybe you can only fish, 2 fishes and not 3 fishes, because this one is too rare or requires additional skill. Yes, I think that is already at this moment that we filter. I'm not completely sure, but we have to see with the code. But anyway, so use the skill to determine the fishes you can fish, right? Or to filter the fishes you can fish. Yeah, yeah. So this is something that we need to do. And now I really need to think where to do it, right? Because so now we have the data. Now we have the data. But this part will change completely, right? Completely. In the sense that this is still valid for harvesting and is still valid for mining, but it's definitely not valid for fishing. So the question is, do we reach this point? So when we arrive here, the player requested to fish in a certain location, and we already verified that that location is valid or not. Actually, probably not. Okay, let's simulate it because it's too hard for me to think to all the code that goes there, and let's just launch it. And let's just launch the game and see when we reach that point. And here we will have to branch, right? Because this function is used for mining, harvesting, and fishing. And I don't want to break mining and harvesting, right? So they should continue to work as they work today. I just have to, why my face is stuck again? Sometimes my face is stuck, why? The webcam is kind of fucking up, yeah, okay. So as soon as the server is up, it may take a bit because we are in debug mode and you know, things are a bit slow sometimes, but okay, it seems to be up already. Fantastic. Okay, so here we are. Let me just go daylight because so in this lake, right? In this lake, we have the old definition of fishing, and we have the new. Now, to be sure that we don't mess with the old system, which anyway I will remove, but I will stay in this part of the lake, which was not covered by the old system because the old system had a kind of a circle in the middle, right? So this area in theory was not fish, you couldn't fish here. So if I right click, at the moment what the system is doing is checking in the database that, no, it's checking that this is a area that where I can fish, but it's only when I click on this button that it will arrive. You don't see a good place to fish. You don't see a good place to fish. You don't see a good place to fish. I'm not completely sure why he's saying that here. Because in theory, there is a client-side message, right? There is a client-side message. So actually, I think that we don't get, well, I don't know actually. Do we, let me see. Do we reach this when I right click? Do we reach that or no? Ah, yes, we do. So we are already doing a bunch of checks here. Handle work command. Okay. So yeah, we go server side. We go server side and we go inside handle production, right? Handle production is the one that is actually doing all the checks. Like for example, if you have a fishing rod, if you have the right skill, if you have, you know, the right stamina, if you are not frozen, if you are not under a spell influence or whatever. So it's doing all of those checks for us already. But yeah, I think here is exactly where we are failing at the moment, right? Because at the moment this function does not have an understanding of the new definition. So it's only searching for a resource that is near to us. So if I go here, right? If I go here in the middle of the lake, I think that check will actually go through. Yeah, exactly. In fact, you see that it start fishing because is using, at least for the detection of the distance, is using the old system. Yes, and then now here, when the fishing is finished, we reach this point. So, so now I really need to understand how to modify it, right? And that's the hard part. That's really the hard part. So we have two functions, right? So one that is initiated for all the checks to start fishing, and another one that is called when the fishing is completed to actually give you the resulting item. So the fact that you catch the fish. But in our new mini, so how is that in our new mini game? Good question. Good question. So I'm trying to understand if by the way, we should remember that also NPC can harvest. Now they cannot fish. Well, I mean, in theory they can with the old system. So that is something I will have to double check, right? What happens with NPC? Okay. That is another dimension of the problem. Completely different dimension, but fine. Who's jumping? And is a sheep. Is a cormi. Is a cormi doing stuff in the game. So we have handle production event and we have handle production. So how do we split? So there is handle production and handle production event, right? So handle production is called when you issue a /fish, right? Which is basically after we did the basic checks, if you can fish, if there is a water surface, right? So we first check if there is a water surface, and then we issue a /fish command, right? And this is basically calling handle production. That is doing all the checks needed, and then is scheduling a timer. I mean, it's also playing the fishing animation, and then is scheduling a timer that is calling handle production event, right? Which actually determines the result, right? It determines the result. I think I have underestimated a bit the complexity of merging the new into the existing, but yeah, because actually these two functions. So how do we merge this into the new minigame? So basically this function is the one that has to start our minigame. So this, I think this part is kind of easy. It's this part that I don't understand. Probably for fishing, we will not call this anymore. Because this was based on a certain amount of time, right, passing between the start of the fish and the catch of the fish, which was completely, you were doing nothing. You were just waiting. There was no mini game. While now we have a kind of a fishing mode, right? You enter in fishing mode. Do we have a fishing mode, by the way? I don't know if we already have a fishing mode, but I think, I mean, this part of the code I think is fine. The only problem is... yeah, all this needs to change. So I have to understand if I really want to call this function, because I mean, I think I want, because like this check, worker is disconnected, right? What happened? Worker is disconnected. I'm looking at the wrong function. I'm looking at the wrong function, guys. I have to look at this one first. That is the one we want to look at, which is the first one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for example, it's checking that the client is not already busy doing something else, right? That you have the right stamina. So yeah, we have to call this function anyway, because this function is doing a million checks, right? It's checking that you are not doing the same fishing mini game in the same place as the one that you, yeah, and I think that's good actually. You see that it's saying skip this check for NPC, because actually they can do this. So this check is good. Now this check is wrong, right? Because this check doesn't work anymore for us. So how do we modify this check? At the moment, this one was basically looking at the game, looking at the area, right? And it was determining if we were inside the range of the fishing resource. So how do I determine now that this is a fishing resource, right? Well, because actually I come here with a slash fish. What is this type, by the way? Is that type the type or what? Zero documentation. Fuck. Zero documentation. Yeah, I think the type is like harvest or right? Resource actions. What? So this one is keeping keeping track of like fish, dig, mine. Okay, I understand. Yeah, it's very brutal, but fine. And also this type is not an enumeration, which is super annoying. Super annoying. But it's not an enumeration because in theory, this list is a variable list. Yeah. Do we go through this when I do my fishing thingy? No, we don't. Why? It's kind of strange though. Didn't I? What the fuck? Because I changed a small, yeah, I changed a small comment and now it's all, hey, I need to recompile. But it seems we are not going through this. So this means that we go through handle production direct. Yes, I think so. Which I don't like too much, but so how do we okay, we will debug it and see how we get there, but I think we get there through this, right? No, through none of those. How is possible? What? This one? Probably this one. Yeah, we go through this one. So I think we will go through that function, yes. We go through that function, yeah. I think so. Hey, so now we have a new system, right? We have actually in a separate project that we have to embed into the existing. And the existing is really reasoning in kind of its own way. So it is not an easy merge, but I don't think it's super hard, right? I just have to do it properly, right? To avoid breaking the other systems. I don't want to break like mining or harvesting, right? They're already complex enough and modified a number of times already, but yeah. So definitely one of the complexity that we have is what is it doing? What is doing? Okay, we can remove this one now because we know that it's correct. And we can also remove this one because we know that it's correct. So let's just have the server go up and we will connect, right? If you are still here, Citizen DJ, what are you working on these days? Are you developing with Unreal or what are you doing? Any new projects or any new stuff, new things that you do? Yeah, we see we arrive into this directly through fish. Yes, through fish. Yeah. So yeah, the problem. I mean, the problem is that it's super annoying, right? Because this resource action is loaded. No, I think I want to change it. This function is super bad. I mean, it must be an enumeration because it's so confusing in the code, right? It's so confusing to have just an integer representing that. I mean, I understand that. Let me see if we can change this because it's freaking stupid. I mean, as it is now, it's not reasonable. I don't think it's reasonable. So basically, when it's loading the natural resources, it is storing the action It's storing the action as the index on an array. So that is completely, they can change completely, right? Oh my God. That can change completely. Well, in T, okay, so we defined by command, you know what is it. Okay, well, that's kind of bad, but I don't know if I have the willingness to redo it now. But the point is that I think we should do something like this. Exactly. I mean, which is kind of ugly, but right. So yeah, so here we can detect if the command is a phishing command or if it's a normal resource. So if I put it this way, I'm not gonna break this part of the code, which is related to harvesting wood and other global resources. And I'm not breaking this, which is mining and harvesting and other stuff, right? But we need to see what happens then down here, right? Because here what I can say, I can say, so I need to find a resource that has that particular oh shit. Oh shit, there is a problem. Oh my. Yeah, there is a kind of a big, well, I mean, it's kind of medium big problem because actually this function, right, has no idea of what the client just checked in terms of surface. So it doesn't know. Yeah, because if you want to go by surface, like we said, right? We said that this one, you see, is pointing to SM Water BD Road Lake 1. This is actually the surface of the water, is the mesh, right? Is the surface mesh. So if you want to go to if you want to use this surface mesh, right? Then when I do /fish, right? I need to pass to the server somehow or I do the same line trace server side. Ay. Because if I don't do that, yeah, there is a problem here. I think I finally understand how rep notify works. Nice! Tinta, not much. I've been working on a side project to merge into my main one, learning about replication and networking. Oh, cool. Not much time is very important. Yeah. I mean, rep notify. I mean, I did a lot of stuff without knowing rep notify. And then, I mean, this was quite some time ago, but anyway. And then, you know, I had to redo it because nothing works without rep notify. Nothing. So everything must be rep notified. Otherwise, if a second player joins, you know, it doesn't see the real status of the game. It sees something else. So yeah, rep notify is very important. Okay, here we have kind of a big deal. Here we have kind of a big problem because currently, right? Currently, we have a command which is called /fish, which is asking the server to fish in a specific location, but it doesn't specify in any way the the water surface that the client detected. It doesn't. And I don't want to pass it through, right? Because I don't know if I want to say why, but I will say it very briefly, because if I do, that would be the biggest, the easiest exploit ever, right? I will not elaborate on how to do it, but you know, it will be so easy to exploit. So I need a way to have the server validate that, or at least to have an RPC function that does that. I cannot pass it through the command. I cannot, right? Otherwise, player can just type the command. There is one thing I can do. that is coming through my mind, that is passing through my mind now, which is when I do the client side scan, right? When I do the client side scan, I am saving yeah, this is probably the only way to do it properly. So when I'm doing the client side scan for the water surface to understand if I can fish or not, I detect the mesh, and I do it through the mouse click, right? Because obviously if you click here, or you click here, you see that here it doesn't pop. Well, here it doesn't pop up, right? Because it's too far from you. So, but if you click around you, like here, then it does work, right? And there is a line trace with a mouse screen to 3D world kind of translation, right? And so it's translating that location, and then it's doing a line trace between the camera position and that point, pretty much, right? With a forward vector of 5 meters. So the problem is that we decided to do all of this client side, which is bad for a number of reasons, but it's good for other reasons, right? So it's so, and anyway, the mouse, right? And anyways, the mouse information, you have it only on the client, right? I cannot ask the server to do this calculation, right? So I have to pass this data to the client, to the server. So now the point is, should we just pass the line trace position to the server and have the server validate again the line trace plus the distance from the player so that you cannot fake it? Yeah. Well, or wait, maybe there is a better way. No, there is no better way, because if I'm next to a rock, right? If I'm next to a rock like this, and obviously the line trace here is not working. Oops. Why it is working? Because it's ignoring. Yeah, he also works on me. Yeah, because we are line tracing another channel. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, because we are line tracing only the water surface. So basically this rock is completely transparent to the click. That is something I did not consider. So like if you are on top of a pier, you can basically fish through it. Oh fuck. Well, it's not that you can fish through it, because then the next part of the check will not work. So it will fail later, yes, but at least you can right click on fish, yeah. Okay. But let me think. So we need to solve this, because this is a major point in the whole thing, and I need to fix. I need to sort this out. So when I do the problem is that this thing is so deep into our mouse selection code that how do I bring it out? Well, I can call a server function and store it temporarily. I mean, that I can do. Yeah, because the function is exactly this one, right? So there is the hit of my mouse when I right click on the water surface. And the menu that you see popping up is the result of also of this code, which is basically taking the location that where I hit and is then storing it. Yeah, and is getting this name, and then is creating an action location. I mean, maybe it's enough to check the distance from the player. Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe because okay, I mean, I'm trying to understand. The line trace doesn't need a rock on the mesh. No, because it's a different trace channel. So you can decide, you can define, you know, your own trace channel, and this is what we do. And I think it's a very good, important thing to know. I don't know if you know, maybe you know it already, but just going to say it again. So if you go under engine collision, right, you can decide a number of trace channels. For example, I have an interact mouse trace, right? And then you define which objects are actually reacting to that particular channel of line trace. Right, and that is a very powerful tool. So for example, I don't know, let's say that you have something in your scene that you don't really want to click on, right? And because it's just fluffy stuff, and so those will not react, will not block that particular channel, and then you line trace with that channel. So for example, I have a channel for climbable where I want only the items that allow you to climb to react to that particular click, right? And now I have this channel which is water surface that is used only when you have your only when you have your fishing rod equipped, right? If I don't have my fishing rod equipped, the rock is actually blocking my. I mean, now this is showing anyway because it's using the old system. But anyway, the rock is blocking the mouse, and so I'm actually clicking on the rock, right? While when I have my fishing rod, I'm using another line trace channel because I'm in fishing mode, right? And so the rock is completely invisible, like my character. My character is completely invisible, or another character will be completely invisible, right? And even the ground is invisible at this point. So if there is no water surface, right? If I am in here, well, assuming that my water surface ends here. Actually, my water surface is not ending here because it's a bit larger, like it's a square. But if I just click on the ground, it will not be hit. So yeah, trace channels I think are extremely good and important, and you really need to use them if you want to have a good control of your mouse clicks, right? So depends what your game needs to do, but I think is an important tool that you should keep in mind. So now, but thank you for the question. I think I mean the purpose of the stream is also to interact with you guys. So now the point is it enough to check for the, because actually I do pass, right? I do pass the action location server side when I do the first check. And what I could do, I could actually save the latest fishing spot, right? The latest action location that has been, yeah, that is probably the solution, guys. Because otherwise this will become super complex, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So I think what I will do, I will take this action location, which is containing the mesh, and by the way is also containing the position. Of the hit, which is fantastic. And this one is actually sent to the server the first time before we pop up this, right? As soon as I right click, we go server side and we pass the action location. The server checks and returns this menu, right? And returns this menu. So what we can do is to store that location. Where do we store it? I have to store it on the character as usual. Oh my god, another variable on the character. Fine. I mean, we don't, I mean, fine. Another variable. Our class PS character is insane. So I can tell you that the header file is 3,300 lines. The header, not the CPP. Anyway, so we need a variable here dedicated to fishing. Do we have anything about fishing here? Yes, we have this, so we can put it maybe next to this one. Yeah, we can put it next to this one. So this is not a U property. I don't need it on the blueprints, but it is, what is it? It is a PS action location. Yeah, it is a PS action location, and it is called last fishing click. Last fishing click sounds very bad. Last fishing spot selected. Bah. Okay, last fishing spot selected, right? And it is used when the client asks to fish in a given spot. We save this and reuse it when it sends the /fish command. I mean, I have to say that it is a bit hard-coded, huh? It is a bit spaghetti code. My player character is slowly getting stuff full of variables too. Yeah, I think that my suggestion will be to do like we did with Discovery Manager, right? So we have a wall thing that is about, like, we have the inventory, right? So we have the inventory, we have the knowledge, meaning the Discovery Manager, the achievement, you know. So for that, I just created another class, and then I am referencing it from here, because otherwise it becomes a total mess, right? So for the stuff that you know that it will become big, now fishing, I don't know how big it will become. I mean, if it stays as 2 variables, I think it's very reasonable. But like inventory, I mean, it's way more than 2 variables, right? So inventory, we created a class, and then we reference it inside of this one, because otherwise it's impossible. It becomes a laundry list. So now this last fishing spot selected, we have to save it basically when we do this, right? When we do this and when we get a positive response, because if we don't get a positive response, I would say, who cares, right? Because it's not a valid. So definitely is a query, right? Is a query message. Let me see if inside a query message we already have something related to fishing. Yes, check if we are fishing. Okay, that is fantastic. So this may turn out quite simple if this works, but I think it does. Save the location the player clicked on, so we can use it when he actually issues the fish command, right? Through the UI. I mean, it's not really typing /fish anymore these days, but all our actions also have a command so that people can script them. But in this case, we will not be able to script the mouse clicks because we have a macro editor in the game that they can script, right? They can go here and say, oh, I want this. Yeah, you see, like here I scripted some stuff, right? Here I scripted that if I click this button, I'm sending to the server these 3 commands, right? So basically all our client actions are also scriptable, which I think is kind of cool. But this fishing mini game will not be scriptable. Okay, so we save it, right? Here we save it. Now that we have it, what do we do? So now we have to go back to where we were before, to the previous question. And the previous question was here. Exactly. So if this is a phishing command, this is when I said, oh, we have a big problem, right? Oh, we have a big problem. And now we have the solution to that problem. Scriptable, you mean like OK macro? Yes, also. But also scriptable in the sense of a text of lines, right? So for example, here so if you want to, I don't know, if you want to create a button that actually keeps, you know, your axe and your sword and a piece of armor, you can do it here, right? You can say /keep axe blah blah /keep, and it can be as long. Well, I don't know if it's as long as you want, but anyway, you can have a number of commands. Then you click one button, and the game does all of that, right? And we have a lot of commands. I mean, we have if you go under help and you go under chat commands, right? And you expand these all. I mean, these are all the commands that are actually working in the game right now, right? All these ones, right? So so you can script using any of these commands, right? So I don't know, pick lock, whatever, deputize, body, pick up, drop, keep, keep, trade, sell, buy, give, right? So all that you can put in a macro that then you assign to a button. And yes, you can also assign it to a key binding. So when you press 7, that happens. I made a macro to practice my spell skill, lol. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I think that our definition of botting and scripting is I mean, we don't want people to bot and script if they are AFK, right? But if you are in front of your PC and you have like a macro to simplify the fighting or whatever, it's fine with me. I would not consider that botting and I would not sanction it, right? But usually what we do, what our GM are doing is that if you do that a lot, sometimes we try to speak with you. And if you don't answer, it means that you are AFK, left your PC farming, right? You may risk a kick and then a warn and then maybe after some time also a ban, right? So, but if you are responsive, right? If you are there just with your PC doing stuff for you, I mean, that's fine with me. I don't have a big issue with that. So, okay, so now we have the answer to that, right? The answer to that is this variable that we just filled in. And what now we need to do is to extract this is the first thing I want to do, to validate the position of the player compared to the mouse select, which will always be true except if you are hacking the client, right? If you hack the client, you will be able to send a different position, right? And you may want to say, oh, I want to fish while I'm at home, but I'm sending you the position of a lake that is like 10 kilometers from here, right? This check will prevent it. So we have the position. So we have to check that this position minus my player position, which is this, right, is less than what? Is less than the interact distance. I think we can give it a bit of a, you know, a bit of a margin just because, but I think this should be like range to use. I would do like range to use multiplied by 2, which I think I'm fine. So like 8 meters, or even multiplied by 3, right? So just to give it a bit of a, because the mouse click can be a bit far from you. So let's do like 3 times the range to use. I think I'm fine. So if this is less, sorry, these are 2 vectors, so I guess we need to do this and then length. Is length already ABS or not? If it's negative, is length of vector negative? It can be, can length of vector be negative or not? I don't know. Let me just ABS that. Do we have the ABS? Do we have ABS? Get ABS. Get a copy of this vector with absolute value for each component. With absolute value of each component. Well, if you don't fuck up the length, I'm fine. No, I prefer to do length and then do ABS of this. I don't know if length can be negative. In theory, no, because it's the length of a vector, right? I don't know if he's doing like it. This is minus whatever, but whatever. We do ABS, so it would be fine. So if it's less than the range to use, multiplied by 3, give it some space, multiply by 3, multiply by 3 to give it some space. Then we are good. If it's greater than that, we have a problem, right? So this action will be completely invalid, and we will just return. So there is someone messing with the data, right? Messing with the packets between client and server. So we just consider it invalid, and we just don't do anything. Then I want to validate if there is an actual resource, right? And in this case, we want to validate what? Now here I need a I need to get natural resource by mesh name. Get natural resource by mesh name. Huh? I mean, if it's the trace mesh, yes. Yes. I think so. Yeah. I think it is the right one. Trace mesh. Yeah. Exactly. So we get another where we get the mesh name from here. Yep. So if this one returns something, so this one should return a natural resource. Which is basically our found resource, right? And if we find it, we add it to this. Well, also if it's not, yeah, also if it's not empty. By the way, it's the same code we have here for global. Yeah, it is actually the same code. It's exactly the same code actually, with the difference that we use this new location. But anyway, it's fine. So so if you find the resource, then we add the resource to the nearest thingy. Wait a second. Yes, I have to do the same. Yeah, it's basically exactly the same code as above. Yeah, it's exactly the same as above. It's exactly the same, boys. Okay, so this is very good. I think that what this is doing is then using the validated position and tell me yes, you can. And then what this will do, it will so basically if I right click on a lake that is not scripted, exactly, I think we can do immediately the test, right? So if I change this to be lake 12, right, which doesn't exist, by the way, if I do this, right, it will not find anything. No, don't save that. Okay. I think we solved the problem. You can use math value length, but length shouldn't ever be negative, as far as I know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just doing ABS and GG. We are spending one more, machine cycle, but I don't know if he's saying that get the length of this vector. It doesn't say. Doesn't say. Okay, I'm compiling anyway. Am I? Oh no, it was still running. Server was still running, I guess. Or you already compiled and restarted? No, that seems too fast. I will have to go at midnight anyway. We still have 1 hour, which is okay. I mean, today was a bit of a weird day. And tomorrow, tomorrow will not be here in the evening. So we will see each other then Tuesday. Okay. He's up. He's up. We can do this, boys. We can do this. I think it will be super fun when this is done. It would be, yeah, it would be nice to have to have the fishing mini game in. It would be very nice. I think we need to tweak the rules a bit, because at the moment the rules are kind of simple, but maybe a bit of the speed. But we have the, what do you mean build failed? Because I launched the client and you are annoying. Yeah, okay. I think we have to tweak a bit the speed of the minigame, but We can do it in the other project, so we can test it more. But I want to have a first version out. I think, I mean, there is still a lot to do because, like, we need a quest, right? We need someone that explains you how to play the game somehow. I mean, how to fish. So I think we need an NPC that is like telling you stuff. But I can also put it in as a first release without the NPC and the quest and then add it later on, right? So I will explain it maybe in a video. And yeah, but this is the start of our rework for the whole economy of the game. I think our game has a big issue with economy. I mean, basically people are millionaires and don't know what to do with the money. That's the issue. I mean, it's a nice issue to have, I guess, if it was real life, right? But in the game, having an economy that is completely off, right, is a problem. Because there is no incentive then to get more money if you already have a lot of money, and so the game becomes like stale at a certain point, right? Come on, server, you can do it. Okay. Nice. Okay, so basically now I changed the name of the mesh. So when I right click, I'm not even getting the menu. I'm not even getting the menu. Yeah, because actually are we doing the check also for the menu? Yeah, probably yes, actually. Or is this check that I did now? Maybe it's this check that I just did now, boys. No, it's not. How does he know? How does he know? That's kind of a mystery. How does he know that he cannot fish here? Yes, because he's doing it by action location. Yeah. So the action location will be empty. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Found, you see, found 0 meshes with action location. Yeah, so he's already knowing. Okay, so that's, so if the lake is wrong, you don't even get the right click, right? Okay, good. That is very good. So you cannot even try, right? You cannot even try. Now, if the lake is correct, right? If the lake is correct, unfortunately, I need to restart the server because I need to reload. I don't have a... Do I have a way to reload natural resources on the fly? I think there is no reload here. Reload, wait, because maybe we do have something. Reload, help. Reload, server option, matrix path, locations. Locations is not... No, I cannot reload it dynamically. I have to add that though, because we need it. We definitely need to, yeah, we absolutely need it. It is something that I have to do. Yeah, it is something I absolutely have to do. I think I have it probably in my to-do list already, because we had I think I created some time ago a reload page, right? Reloading at runtime. Let me see. These are the ones reloading okay. These are the ones not yet reloading. Yeah, here it is. Natural resources, right? Is in bold because this is absolutely needed. Yeah, would be nice to do it. Okay, so if we load now, then we have the right lake. So we've proven that if the mesh is not the one you're clicking on, you don't get even a fish icon, right? Which is good to me. And now what we want to prove is that as soon as the server goes up, we want to prove that if the mesh is correct, right, we have properly stored the action location from the menu, from the context menu, and we can actually start fishing with a new system. Please, come on. Please go up. What the hell is so slow? It's loading. Yeah, because we are using the production data, right? We're using, this is not the dummy database. That is the real stuff. So it's loading like 2000 waypoints and like 10,000 crafting combinations and yeah. Okay, so now the lake should be the right lake. Let me just go in a place where there is not the old system in place. We should be here actually. So here we should be outside the range of the old system, right? So if I right click, yeah, you see this menu pops up. Now when I click on fish, we hit this, yes, that's good. And we hit our validation. So here we validate the length, and the length is correct. I don't know how much it was. And then here we validate our new resource, yes, and it is also good. And so now we are using the new system for the detection of the resources. But we are still using the old system for fishing, right? There is no mini game. There is no mini game, but it is a big advancement, right, in our code, because now if I go back here, so what do we have to do? So the first thing that we have to do, so that we did, right, and we had to do was this piece, right? So end of production is called when you issue the fish command and check the start of the mini game, right? So we had we changed this. Changes to use the new mesh detection, right? So like the lake mesh. Right, and this we did now, and it is done, right? This is done. Now after this is really tough, because now everything that happens after the fish command basically needs to be changed with the new minigame. So everything that happens wait, no, not here. Yes, exactly. Everything that happens after this validate position and blah blah blah, right? Blah blah blah. Resource, yes, you have a resource. Yes, I have a resource. Okay, if no resource found, it will tell you. Validation of the skill. Do you have enough skill? Okay, fine. Blah blah blah. Validate the tool. So it's checking if we have a fishing rod in hand. Blah blah blah. Whatever is checking. So all of this is good. But now the problem is that from here down, right? From here down, everything is different. Like everything is different because, I mean, even the broadcast harvest animation is not that, right? So get the first resource data for use in the time calculation. Yeah, even the time calculation. I mean, nothing of this makes sense anymore, right? So the progress bar doesn't make any sense. The queuing of the event doesn't make any sense. The confirmation doesn't make any sense. Well, probably, yeah, this part does, because we still have to tell the player that he started fishing, right? Yeah, that is the only piece. So basically from here down, yeah, from here down, if we are fishing, so how do we detect if we are fishing? In the same way we did here, which is what? Which is if resource action type equal fish. Yeah. So if we are fishing, right? If we are fishing, what the hell do we do now? I mean, what the hell do we do, boys? So, what the hell do we do? I mean, a million things. So in the same Android production, right? We really have to start, which is this one, right? Which is this piece, right? We have to start the new mini game. So if all is okay, we need to start the mini game, and we need to pass the PS parameters for the mini game, like the skill, the bait, the fish, and difficulty on the client side, and start the mini game. So now, yeah, exactly. So I need a function here. Let's keep it simple, right? Let's keep it simple. So this block will be valid only for all the other resources. And the sending the confirmation, like you started fishing, I think is fine. It can be sent to the client, and blah 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 started to fish will be sent to the other players, right? Yes, but now here I need a blueprint call, right? So I need an implementable event on my character. I need an implementable event on my character. No, on my player controller. Not on my character, please. On my player controller, like we do usually, right? Well, there is one thing that we may no. Okay, yeah, on the player controller, yeah, mini game. Do we put it under mini games? Yeah, maybe we put it under mini games. Do we have something about fishing here? I think we do. We have receive resource interaction window. We have nothing else. I think we will put it under mini games. I think it's a good, because at the end fishing is a mini game. So we will put it here, right? And I need an implementable event. implementable event, there will be receive start fishing. And now here we need to understand if we want to multiplayer this, right? So we want to send to the other client at the start of the fishing, but I would say no. I think I want to send only the animation when you are actually casting the rod, casting the line or whatever you're casting. So yeah, I think that's fine. Do we need anything? Do we need any parameter? Yep, like we said here, we need the skill, we need the bait, we need the no, we cannot have the fish at this point, right? There will be an interaction inside the minigame that will determine the fish, but that's completely server side. So the only thing that, yeah, let me think a second. I think we need to start the other project, because now we need to do the integration, right? Now we need to do the real stuff, boys. Until now was all easy. Easy. So you can see, for the one of you that didn't see the fishing minigame, you can see it now. Maybe I can do a round. The bait could be a small fish. Yes, we have defined all the baits already. I think I didn't post it on the general channel. I posted only on the Patreon channel just to give them something, you know. But I can show you. I can show you the thing if you want. Let me do it. So we already have a new book, a new crafting book, where you can already create all these baits. The book is called Fishing Baits, and he has different types of baits, from the most common to the more rare, right? So you can use kikiri meat, rat meat, clacker meat. These three are like the easy ones. Then these ones are the next tier, right? Which is basically, you can take a fish and cut it, right? And you can create baits out of existing fishes. This is the next tier, which is a bit more complex because it requires flowers, like the blue orchid, the fire lantern, and such. This is the next tier because it requires animal parts of kind of, I mean, they are not rare, but anyway, they start to be kind of rare, right? And it is the last tier, which is more rare flowers. So you basically have you basically have tier 1, right? Tier 2, tier 3, right? Tier 3 up to there. Tier 4 and tier 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The higher the tier, the more bonuses you will have in finding a rare fish. Okay. So it depends on you if you want to increase your chances, right? So you will increase your chances. Now you still have the chance to find a rare fish even with a common bait, but it will be harder, right? You like it? Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's nice as well. So you will be able to create all of that, and then you will keep keep the bait, but I still have to do it, right? You will keep the baits on the left hand. So you will have, it's the same that we do with the bow and the arrows, right? So you will have here the fishing rod and here your baits. You cannot fish without a bait. So you will need a bait. But like kikiri meat and rat meat, I mean, it's kind of easy to find, right? So it should not be a big deal. So you see here, I already have baits. I already have Rangma egg baits. So I have 10 of them, right? Because I already crafted them for, I mean, while I was testing things. Okay, so now that you know the secret stuff, right? Now that you know the secret stuff, well, it's not secret. I did it on stream. Okay, so there is the fishing mini game, right? At the moment, it's in a separate project, right? So as you see, it is not plane shift. These are some of the new fishes. Sorry, it's like bugging out, but and we have a lot of new fishes. And that is another part of the development. Now you can fish in any water body as long as it's not too far from you. Like, I think that at the moment from here down is too far and you cannot do it. But from here down you can, right? So you have just to select a body of water and then you go in fishing mode, right? Here you are in fishing mode. You can move your camera looking in front of you. So the camera is changing the way it works. And then you hold C to cast your line, right? And there is a kind of a mini game. The mini game is in two parts, right? So the first you need to actually have the fish on the hook, and the second you have to reel it to you, like pull it to you, right? So I already fucked up, by the way. And there are sounds and everything. So you basically have to counter the movement of the fish on the water, which is what I'm doing. And if you do it, right, you catch a fish now. Right? So in this case, I catch this fish. And the size of the fish, you see at the top that is saying you catch a pike of quality 74 with weight 0.79, right? So that will be the information that you get. So you may get a fish of a certain quality and a fish of a certain weight. And by the way, if the weight is bigger, the fish will also look bigger, right? So we are scaling the fish to look bigger, right? I can prove it to you, but I have to play another game and I need to find a fish that is big enough, which is not always easy. Let me see if I get it or not. On the right side, I have some cheating thingies. I know how much is the weight of the thing. Yeah, this one is a big fish, for example. If I catch it, this one is a big fish. Yeah. Well, this is another type of fish, but it's scaled up, right? Because this one actually is a smaller fish, but the one that we got is a bigger version of the basic one, right? The basic one is here, so it's that size. I don't know if actually it's scaled for real or not. It should be scaled though, because there is 0.94 weight. There may be something wrong in the weight. I have to check that. But anyway, apart from this, this is basically how you do, right? And you can and you can fish in any location. I mean, if you want to fish here, as long as there is water, right? If you try to fish here, obviously, right, it will not even cast, right? It will not even cast. You try to cast, it doesn't cast. Or if you try to fish here, but you cast too long and you hit, right, and you hit that thingy, it doesn't cast. You see? I mean, it may work if you go after it, but yeah, if you go there, it works. But if you go after that, it doesn't work, right? Okay, you get the idea. So this is pretty much the mini game. Now, the problem I have is this: that now we need to start. I think we have to start to move, right, stuff from this project to the real project. And in particular, so basically pressing F in this dummy game will be the same as this call, right? Yes. And so now the question is what are the parameters that determine do I really need any parameters here? Because I will do everything server side. Let me think about it 1 second, okay? Let me think about it 1 second, right? So server and client, right? So here we have the receive start phishing. And what we do when we receive start phishing is that we basically start the mini game, right? Which is the starting the mini game means we create a new actor. Because we actually have a separate actor dedicated to phishing that I have here, and so we will port that, which is called phishing actor BP. So we create the actor, we possess the actor, and we create all the other stuff, right? At this point, you will be in this position. So you will have your staff out, the bobber, the line, and such, right? And the new camera view. Exactly. Then you start casting. Casting is also completely client side, right? So the players start casting. And this is completely client side. I calculate the trajectory of the line, I calculate the place, I do whatever I want. But then at that moment, right, which is when I reach when basically the bobber reaches the water, right? At that moment is when I decide. No, it's not that the moment. The moment that I decide which fish is when we actually start to catch the fish, right? And that is randomized. At the moment it's 0 time, right? At the moment the fish arrives immediately, but there will be some time, right? You will wait some time before catching the fish. So you start casting, still client side, right? Bobber goes to water, right? Wait time before fish arrives, right? Exactly. So the question is the waiting time already determined server side or not? Yes, absolutely. 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 So I think that at this point, the client just waits, right? And our server starts a timer, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, this must be done server side. There's no way we do it client side. So yeah, I think that the initial call doesn't need anything. The initial call doesn't need any parameters. Zero. I think zero parameters. But as soon as we do this, right? As soon as we do this, the mini game will start, right? So this will be the receive phishing. Fine. But then I need a function where I say that I started casting, right? Because otherwise, no, the time, no, sorry, this is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. So start casting, right? Start casting will ask the server, right? So we need a function. We need a function that is called request start casting, right? And this one is a callable thingy, right? Now you can cast multiple times, which I don't know if I want to keep it this way, but basically what you can do, you can cast, you can cast and then just cast again, right? So basically you are undoing the previous, you are undoing the previous cast, right? So I think this needs to be tracked somehow. Like if you are just invalidating, right? Invalidating the start of the mini game. Which I think is fine or not. Yeah, I think it's, well, I don't know. I may prevent casting again until the mini game finishes. Yeah, that could be probably a good idea. So that if you cast, right, you need to, well, but you may want to exit fishing mode. You may want to exit fishing mode. Yeah, so we also need exit fishing mode. We need a stop fish. We need a stop fishing. We need a stop fishing. Stop fishing. What does stop fishing do? Stop fishing. Stop fishing will basically free you from the work mode, right? Yeah, exactly. So we because you will not be able to move, right, while you are in that position. So this will be request stop fishing. Request stop fishing, huh? Yeah, I think so. This will be called by the client. So request request stop fishing with no parameters as well. Yeah. So we have that, and this will do, will free you. Basically, you will be able to move again. We'll change the camera again, right? And will free you from the minigame, so you can just walk around again and just do whatever you want. But then, okay, so that's good. Probably when I'm casting, when the minigame runs that you cast, you have to wait for the finish of the minigame, or you have to exit from, I don't know. Because the problem is that if you cast multiple times, I need to ask to the server to generate a new fish. Because the server starts a timer, right? Well, I mean, I think it's okay. Let's not bother about it now. It's fine. It's fine. Let's have the player cast multiple times for now. So the player cast multiple times, right? And then we start casting, right? The bobber arrives into the water and we wait. So basically here we need another request function. We need another request function, and this one will be called request bobber on water, right? So yeah, like to say the bobber is on the water, and so we are basically waiting the fish. So bobber is on the water. We wait for a fish to bite. Do you say bite? What do you say? Fish to hook? A fish to, anyway, to bite. Yeah, so this will be request bobber on water, right? So request bobber on water will start the timer, right? This one will start the timer. Yeah. This one will start the timer. If I make this compact enough, I can move it to the other picture, but I don't know, to this one. Like you can put it here maybe, I don't know. Or I can just save another file, so it's okay. Yeah. I'm trying to find a good syntax for this. Okay. Yeah, maybe if I compact it enough, we can put it. We can put it on the other. Oops. We can put it on the other picture. Okay, so we start the timer, right? Here we start the timer. The timer is purely random. I think we will decide just, you know, between, I don't know, 30 seconds and 1 minute, whatever. I think we already determined. Then I Then I removed it during my test, otherwise we had to wait, you know. But there was already a kind of a reasoning. There was already a reasoning for where the fish actually is when the fish arrives, right? I think there was a waiting time that I just removed. Starcast, start fishing, set new time, move on spline. I think it's here, finish, branch, transition on water, fish bite, here it is. Fish bite, set timer. Set timer by function name 0. So this one is executed immediately. Yeah, at the moment it's executed immediately. But yeah, this was the idea of having a timer. At the moment we don't wait, we wait 0, right? We wait 0. But the idea was that you had kind of a timer, because then here we go in fish bite. In fish bite is the catch. Yeah, exactly. So so we have the timer, and the timer is calling fish bite. So that is the one that we will have to call. So the timer fires off, right? The timer fires off, and so the timer triggers, and when the timer triggers, we have to call. We need a new function, and the new function will be called receive fish bite, right? At this point we know what fish we have. We have all the parameters decided here. In our mini game, actually, we were doing it before this, I guess, slightly before this, because we were doing it. Yes, exactly. Here, choose fish and difficulty, right? And fish wait time. Yeah, exactly. And this was calculating the fish wait time, right? This was calculating the fish wait time. So I think we can transfer. Yeah, at the moment it's 2 seconds, right? I just skipped all of this, but I think we can reuse it. We can reuse that logic. And this will be request fish bite, right? And here we pass, so here we call fish bite, and here we pass all the parameters. Now, which parameters do we need? We need all the ones that we had already here. Oh my god, this function, bro. This function needs to be server side, so I will have to move it server side. There's no way. Now we need to see if this is really the final, but So basically here we have to pass the, but I don't know actually, because I think that we can keep the difficulty parameters server side anyway, and just pass one final, right? I think we can just pass one final difficulty factor, which is this one. Let me think about it. Type difficulty factor. Yeah, I don't think we have to expose any of this to the client. I don't think so. I don't think so. Because this one, so we have two parameters. One, which is actually the pure difficulty factor based on the quality of the fish, the weight of the fish, and the type of the fish. And then we have another parameter, which is the final difficulty factor, which is influenced by the player skill. And then we use, let me see. And then we use this. Well, actually this we use it only to print it out here. Okay. Well, so we don't really use it. And so we use only this value to calculate the minigame. Yeah, we use only this for pretty much everything, or not? For this, for this, for this, for this, for this. Yeah, we use it for all the parameters. Yeah. So in reality, right, if we do the calculation of the difficulty server side, we only needed the difficulty factor. Hello, who joined? Hello, Mikeable. Hey, thank you for the raid. Hello. Wow, that's a lot of bombs for the raid. Look at that. Oh my god, everyone getting thrown to the air, in the air. Hello. Hey, thank you for the raid, really. I appreciate it. Do I know you already? I don't remember. Sorry for the Mikeable, Mikeable. Do I know you already? Do you that's you, huh? Hello? Or not? Yeah, it's you. But you don't do Unreal Engine. Okay. Well, then I will not raid you back. No, because for the people that raid me and they are doing Unreal Engine, I put them on a list of people I raid back, right? Because but usually they have to work with Unreal Engine. But hey, thank you. Physic recommended. Okay. That's you, huh? Physic recommended. Okay, thank you, Physic, then. Yeah, we are working, we are making a game. We're not playing a game, but we are working on a game. And in particular, at the moment, we are trying to add a fishing mini game to our main game, right? Which is a fantasy game, fantasy MMO game. And the fishing mini game at the moment is in another project. So it is, this is the standard, Unreal Engine character. So that's definitely not our character, right? And this is not our world. It's just like a test environment, right? But these are some of our fishes, yes, that we will use in the minigame. This guy, this little guy here. This one is not moving, but it will move. And now we determined a bit of the fishing rules, right? What you have to do to actually catch the fish and what moves you need to do. We added some sounds and things like that, right? And if you do all wrong, like I'm trying to do now, you just lose, right? The fish just goes away and yeah, and you lose. Or if you win, you catch the fish, right? Now, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to integrate the minigame into our real game, and I am thinking to all the different calls that we are adding in our code. So Hello, Pizzic. Hey. One of the best games. Made my life good back in the day when Crystal Phase was a thing. Yeah, exactly. It will make your life good again when I manage to make this game good. But yeah. But one day it will be, I'm sure. It's improving every day, right? So one step at a time. So I think request fish bite. I think we will pass on. We will pass the difficulty already calculated server side. So here we will have a float. The difficulty is a float, or what is it? Yeah, I think it's a float. Yeah. Is the yeah. So we will have the difficulty factor, right? I don't remember if a float needs still to be. Yeah, probably it does. Fuck me. I don't know. Sometimes my fingers are not hitting the right key. So this one will be. This function will be this one, which is calling fish bite, which is basically when the fish bites the bait, right? So basically is on the hook, right? So when that happens, right? When that happens, we start the circle animation and all of that, right? So the circle animation, the mini game goes, right? So so basically we start the circle mini game, then the move mini game because it's in two parts, right? So we do that, and then the client will tell the server, and this can be a bit exploited if you want, but I hope you will not do it. Because all the logic of the mini game is client side, right? The server doesn't really know. So at that point, the game ends with a lose or with a win. Exactly. So the only output, I think the only output that we have from here is a win or lose. I think so. Yeah. Yeah. I think so. Yes. And the win or lose will call a request what request so minigame finished with win or lose, right? I mean, you cannot win well. I mean, you cannot win good or bad or whatever. So it's just a win or lose. So request fishing. I mean, it's the same as stop fishing. No, it's not the same as stop fishing. No. Do we call it fishing complete or fishing? I think fishing complete doesn't really explain. Basically, you finish the mini game for one fish. Request fishing. I can call it request fishing one fish, but it's kind of weird. Request fishing. Let's call it completed, even if it looks like the whole fishing is completed, right? Should I call it request fishing mini game completed? I mean, it's a bit long, but if we call it win or lose, yeah, let's call it win or lose. It's much understood. Yeah. Request fishing win or lose. Fantastic. Exactly what we want. And he only has one parameter, which is win or lose, right? Is a boolean, nothing else. Okay. Okay, very good. Very good. I think we are nearly there. In terms of the structure, then we have to implement all the calls and... but the structure, if we don't have the structure, I don't know what I'm doing, right? So this calls request fishing win or lose. And at that point, we already know the fish because actually we determine the fish here in the difficulty, right? So we determined the result. So we already know the result, right? Yeah, actually, you know what? Let me change this because this is not clear enough. Actually, this is fish and difficulty. So here we know exactly before you start the mini game which fish you will get if you win. Okay. So this request fish byte needs to do all the calculations and store somewhere the next fish, right? Yeah. Do we need a minigame manager for this fishing minigame? I don't know. Maybe we do. Okay, so at this point, so this will be the final call. Request fishing, win or lose. And then what? And then there must be another, yeah, and then this will basically just check the result. And he will send again to the client he will send to the client, so it will be a receiver. Fuck, this is not request, this is the receive fish byte, no? Yeah, exactly. In fact, is receive fish byte. I'm trying to name them all the same. So receive is always seen from the point of view of the client, right? So if it's a receive, you know that is the client receiving something. So this will be receive fish. Let's call it receive fish on rod, right? Receive fish on rod, which is I think is very clear. So basically, you will get a fish on the rod and you will see that you got it, right? And this will basically display the fish on the client, and will maybe show also something on the UI, like whatever the weight, you know, fish quality, weight on the client, right? Okay, I think that this is our pretty much this is our thing, and then the cycle starts again, right? Well, you can restart from start casting, right? So from here you can actually go from here you can actually go here, right? Or you can go here to stop fish. So you can exit from the fishing thingy, right? Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I think that this represents pretty well what we have to do. Let me see if you have enough space to put this on the bottom here. Barely. There is this freaking mini game fucking it up. I think I can make it smaller though. Wait a second. Let's do this. If I resize everything to be like 60%, I think it will still be more than readable. Well, let's do a 70%. I think it's okay. Okay, so now it fits, which is great. And also, I think we can also fit this idea into the same picture. So we have everything in one page. No, this one doesn't fit. GG, it's too big. Well, we just need a lake. I will put it here anyway. Who cares about the lake? Well, I mean, we care for some nice looking stuff, right? Okay, so these are all the pieces. Yeah, so we can save this file. So this is basically on the left we have our roadmap. So what we have to do to actually complete, here is some calculation on the profile of the lake. This is basically saying that this profile is applied to one specific location, right? One specific lake like this one. And that is the skill, and that is our client server workflow, which is nice. The problem I have now is that it's midnight 09, my location, and I have work tomorrow, so I need to go. But I think it was nice, guys. We made some progress, and thank you again for the raid. And I don't have visibility on YouTube chat for whatever reason. So it seems that the YouTube chat just died. I don't know if any of you said anything in YouTube. Well, at least not recently. Probably not, so we are fine. Okay, should we raid another channel? Well, we got a raid, so we have to raid back someone else, that's for sure. So let's see who is doing Unreal Engine today. Can I ask what do you do for a living? Yeah, for sure. I work in a software company, but a software company that is not related to video games in any possible way. So it's one of the more boring software for enterprises. And yeah, that's what I do. I'm not a programmer. I was a programmer when I was younger, and now I'm a manager. I'm managing different things in this company. But when I can, in the evenings, I try to do some programming and plane shift as well. Okay, who should we raid? Who is doing Unreal Engine which has very few viewers? This guy's one viewer. One viewer I really like. This guy's playing Hearthstone. This guy's saying day one beginnings. And he's launching a Unreal Engine. Okay, let's motivate this guy. Is he doing Unreal or not? Well, it's waiting the shader compilation, which is a good time. So yeah, let's raid this guy. And let's go. So stay for the raid if you want. Thank you for watching. I will see you not tomorrow evening, but Tuesday evening. Okay, Tuesday at 9:30 p.m. European time. And yep. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the raid. And no, I'm raiding only on real people. Only. And but thank you for the suggestion anyway. And bye bye. See you. Bye.